So this is the TCL 10L. It's their entry level in the TCL 10 series, something that they announced earlier this year at CES. TCL is probably a brand you're like, well, wait a minute, don't they just make TVs? Actually, they make a lot of different devices, and they have been in the smartphone game before under the Elgato brand, and have also recently made some of the more recent Blackberries as well too. So they have some experience in this market, and so they're going under their name finally here in the US and entering into that new affordable smartphone market that's getting a lot of competition, as we've recently seen here. So let's see what they have to offer here in a quick unboxing and first impressions of the TCL 10L. So the TCL 10L is going to go for a recommended sort of price of $249, and inside the box is pretty much going to get the basics with a simple wall adapter, a USB-C to USB-A cable, and you get a case as well along with it as well too, with display greatness etched on it. Nothing more pretty much inside of there with it, just the basics. Now for specs, focusing on some of the core specs, we have a Snapdragon 665 inside of it here with 6 GB of RAM and either options of 64 GB or 128 GB of storage. There's also expandable storage of microSD card slots, so you can get more out of here with that. It does come with a 4000 mAh battery, and it also has a 3.5mm headphone jack, which seems to be the thing that's now on more affordable phones in this market rather than in some of your higher end phones. So on the back, there is a fingerprint sensor as well. And I'm always a big fan of fingerprint sensors. Pretty easy, real quick for me in terms of unlocking your phone. It just feels a little bit more natural. So it's nice to have that and see that there on the back for simple security. Now for some of the feature specs that they want you to focus on here, it does come with a 6.53-inch full HD plus display with HDR support, and it has this new thing called NXT Vision. Now, it's not that NXT, which that's a pretty cool brand and very cool, interesting to watch. This is all really about making more vivid and sharper colors, giving you sort of a nice, cool, different experience when viewing content on your smartphone. It affects your photos, your videos, and everything else you're sort of looking at it here. You can turn it on and off as you wish. So definitely looking forward to checking that out. The other thing that it's focused on here is the camera system. So on the back, you do have a quad camera system set up with a 48 megapixel sensor. And on the front, you have a 16 megapixel punch hole on the front of there on the display. Now, I normally would post pictures and samples to start off here with, but since nowadays, when you start talking about the cameras, even in an unboxing, people take that as a review because people look at cameras as a review of the whole phone, which is really, really silly when you think about it. I don't want that to be the case here. I want this to be sort of just an unboxing and first impressions here to talk about it. So we will post, though, our photos and samples on our Instagram page. The link to that will be in the description below, and we'll save the full talk about the camera for a full review later on. Now for software, we're running Android 10 with TCL's UI here on top of it, called TCL UI. Simple enough. It's pretty interesting. It feels very simplistic. It does have some nice little kind of quirks and bells and whistles I'm looking to discover and kind of play with here and here with it. Some uniqueness here with it. Feels fast, feels snappy for right now, but we'll have to kind of play with it a little bit more to get a real sort of idea of how well it's going to work overall in general. But the main thing here is for the experience to be much more valuable than that $249 price point. That's when you know you're going to have a winner here. And that's what I'm looking forward to and sort of my exploration here with the TCL 10L. I want to thank them for sending this along here as well too. Questions, comments, concerns, please post them below. Let me know if you want me to check on anything specific in the review. Thanks for watching, and always remember to live your tech world in high definition.